Today on What Went Wrong, we talk about turning your idea into a great one. Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and I've made over 40 feature films, and they've all started with a single idea, a thought or an image in my head, or maybe a single line of dialogue. And then I build an entire movie around that idea. Now, side note here, if you want to make a movie about the wage gap or the oppression of basket weavers in the Andes Mountains, or you want to show the injustices and discrimination against wood perpetrated by plastic building block manufacturers, well, that's not an idea, that's a theme. If you have a great idea, your movie will be great. But if you have a great theme, you can still have a crappy film. An idea is not your theme. Just because the theme of a movie may be just and righteous does not make the movie great or even good or hell, even watchable. The Critical Drinker has a great episode titled How Not to Critique Movies that shows how two movies can share a theme but can be miles apart in quality, comparing The Shining to Midsommar. I tried showing it to a liberal SJW coworker and he didn't make it through the first 30 seconds before he shut it off. That earned The Critical Drinker a fan for life. In essence, he explained that you can't judge a movie based on what it's trying to say. You have to judge a movie on its entertainment value, how well it's made, how it presents the theme of the films. Just because you agree with the theme of a film doesn't mean it deserves your respect as a good film. Ayn Rand has some great ideas. Her book Atlas Shrugged is respected by millions of libertarians, but when they made it into a movie, not such a great film series. Do I agree with the themes of the film? Absolutely. Did I enjoy the movie? Not at all. So just because a film is trying to say something insightful and has a great theme doesn't make it a great movie. So go into your movie with a great idea, not a great theme. So when you're ready to make a movie, you need an idea. And this is kind of that chicken or the egg question. Should you want to make a movie first, or should the idea come first? Well, to me, it should be the idea, especially when it comes to making a movie with no money. Because in order to make a movie with no money, you're going to have to make sacrifices and put in a lot of hard work and do a lot of the work yourself. So you need to have something behind you that you feel passionate about. So sure, you can want to make a movie, but before you set pen to paper, find an idea you're passionate about. One that you just absolutely have to get out in the world. An example of one of my films that I use is the film Tag. Now, I get a lot of my ideas, choreography, scenes, come up with dialogue on road trips or driving around listening to music. Music is great for coming up with ideas. One day back in 1997, I had just finished my film Return to Innocence. I was driving around listening to some Crystal Method. Then I had this vision of two guys, back to back. They spin around to face each other, draw their guns, and bang, cut to black. Cool. I wanted to see that moment. I wanted to know why they did that. I wanted to know what led up to that moment. I knew early on that that was the end of the movie, so that was the hard part. Now, all I had to do was figure out how they got there. You're going to learn as you write that the ending is the hardest thing to do. Sticking the landing is the most important part of any performance. You have to get it right. And when you have that ending first, then the rest comes pretty easy. I have an outline of the hero's journey in a PDF file on my computer. Anytime I'm ready to write a script, I print out a few copies and sit down and start brainstorming. I know the steps of a character's journey.
You want to come?
This is the call to adventure.
So the skeleton of the story is already there. Now, I just need to come up with how they play out for my new character. And since I know how that character is going to end up, I can now go all the way back to the beginning and place that character as far away as possible from the person they are at the end of the movie. Guess what? I now have the beginning and the end. So now how do you get the characters from point A to point B, the starting point to the end point? Well, you have to with them. You have to create problems and hurdles he or she has to overcome in order to achieve their goal or to just survive.
I'm gay.
And when he makes those choices and completes those actions, they have to go slowly to change him from the person he was when he started. You can't just take a pacifist and turn him into a gun-toting action star in one single scene. It doesn't make sense, right? No, you have to evolve the character over time, one decision at a time. That pacifist has to move from not wanting to harm a single thing to killing his first bug. Then, maybe in order to save someone they care for, he has to punch someone. That punch leads them to having to make another decision later down the road. The guy he punches tracks him down and threatens his family. He tries to call the police, but they can't do anything. So he gets a security system, but the security system is hacked by the villain. So the hero hires someone with guns to protect him and his family. But the villain kills the security guy. The hero keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed until he has no choice but to change and to become that action hero. If your pacifist just becomes an action hero in one scene, it doesn't make sense, nor does it qualify as a very good character arc, does it? Can we agree with that? Good. So if you agree with that, and you're a fan of Rey and Star Wars and defend her from being Mary Sue, go watch it again and see why we can rightfully and justifiably criticize her as a bad character. All right, moving on. So you figured out the character at the end of the movie. Then with that knowledge, you were able to figure out how the character is at the beginning of the movie by making them as different as possible. Next, you fill in the middle by causing problems and coming up with scenarios that cause that character to evolve into the person they're going to be at the end. And use the 3-act story structure or the 11-step story structure or the hero's journey to fill in all of those holes. We'll have an episode on those in our online training course on our website, notsosane.com, coming later this year. So jump on over there and check it out. And become a supporter of notsosane.com. Boy, this shameless plugging thing gets easier the more you do it. Anyway, there you have it. Find that idea. And that idea can come from listening to music which inspires a single solitary shot, or it can be something you read in the newspapers. Something so crazy that happened that it inspires you to tell a story about it. Law and Order did that all the time, ripped from the headlines. Or find someone in history that inspires you, or you thought did something amazing. For me, I wanted to make a movie about a character in the Old West that had never been really introduced to the general public. Everyone had seen the Billy the Kids and the Butch and Sundances. So I did a little research and found Bass Reeves. You can also take a moment in your life, something you regret doing or regret not doing, and go the other way with it. But remember, you're boring. Sorry, you are. Almost everyone is boring. Life has the occasional moment of happiness and the slightly more frequent experience of intense sadness surrounded by hours and days and years of boredom. So spice it up and make it interesting to other people. We go to the movies to see stuff we wouldn't see otherwise. If you put the same stuff we see in our own lives every single day of the year, why do we want to take the time and watch the same crap in your movie? Give us something we haven't seen before. Give us something new. That's why you need a good idea and not a good theme. And ideas are all around you. The secret is picking one of those ideas that you feel passionate about, because it'll drive you to make that no-budget movie. Because with no budget, you're going to need all the passion you can get. Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and I wrote the book on how to make a movie with no money. And here it is. See, it's got pictures and everything. So head on over to our website, notsosane.com, and get your digital or paperback copy today.